confronting the police who were shooting at the children at Orlando West in 1976. So I was surprised and wonder why she was involved in that. But she was committed. I could see that this is a person who's committed, really trying to stop the police from shooting at the students.
I think that the one part of her legacy that is undisputed is that fearlessness. Describe that a little bit further, her confronting apartheid-era police.
Oh yes. She was a gallant fighter. She did not worry about the police. She did not fear the police. She pushed them away and tell them to stop shooting at the children. And indeed, the police listened to her. And it was not very far from where Hector Peterson was shot down, at about 100 meters away from Mandela's house. And she came running to intervene and stop the police from what they were doing.
After that, many people visited Winnie Madikizela Mandela. She was involved in the march a bit later on. Going into that turbulent period, what did you know about her? What was the talk about Winnie Mandela in Soweto at the time?
Oh, she was the talk of Soweto and the whole of South Africa, in so much that in 1989, when the former president of America, Bill Clinton, visited Soweto, Hillary Clinton, the wife of the former president of America, she wanted to buy the camera, the Pentax camera, the camera that took Hector Peterson's picture. This is the camera that Winnie Mandela refused Hillary Clinton to buy the camera. I wanted to sell this to Hillary Clinton because she requested me that she would like to buy this camera, the camera that took the picture of Hector Peterson. But Winnie Mandela intervened. She said, this is a property of South Africa, cannot be taken to America. And she gave me instruction thereafter that keep this camera. This camera must remain in South Africa with this historic picture of Hector Peterson. We must not sell the picture to anybody. Must not sell the camera to anybody. I must keep it in South Africa. And the Women's League, they also say that if I don't want to keep the camera, the ANC Women's League, they can keep this camera. Up to now, I'm still keeping the camera because of her instructions. She told me not to sell the camera.
So that's the very same camera in your hands?
That's the same camera that took the picture of Hector Peterson, and she stopped me from selling it. And I'm keeping it now because of her instruction. I will never sell this camera.
There were reports that she wanted you to give the picture to the ANC Women's League. Is that correct? What discussions were there around the picture itself? Yes.
She wanted this camera to be kept by the ANC Women's League. And I told her, no, since you have told me that I must not sell this camera, I will keep it myself until I build my own museum where I'm going to keep the camera forever.
Mr. Nzima, we don't often get to chat to you about that time, and maybe not perhaps directly related to her, but take us back to Soweto in June 1976, the township, parts of it on fire. Police, you said, firing. Just tell us what it was like, because everybody is remembering her and looking at the context in which she was functioning. Take us back and describe what it was like.
Oh, Soweto was on fire. It was really horrific. What happened is that the march started from Naledi High School in the morning. The students were protesting against the Afrikaans as a medium of instructions. So they started to march from Soweto, from Naledi High School. I joined them from Naledi High School marching to Orlando Stadium. Their aim was to get into the stadium and write a memorandum to submit at the Department of Education. But before they arrived at Orlando Stadium, at the Matsiki High School, Orlando West High, police came and they stopped them from marching. And the police in charge, he asked them, what are you doing here, little one here? They start to sing the song which was banned during the time when the ANC was on exile. Sikelela Africa was no longer allowed to be sung in South Africa. But the students had to sing that song which was banned in South Africa, Sikelela Africa. I think that's the thing that provoked that policeman, the leader of the police, to give them an order that shoot. Then the shooting was just shooting at, the police were just shooting at random. And I saw the little boy fell down, and I ran with my camera to that child. I took the pictures, 6 shots. And Mbuiso Makubo picked that little boy up, and they ran around, was looking for the nearest car to take Hector Peterson to the clinic. And the only nearest car was our press car, the Beetle, and Sophie Tima. She took her into the car. They ran to the clinic. The doctor certified Hector Peterson dead on arrival. So they came back and report that Hector Peterson is dead. So Soweto was on fire. The student picked up the stone and hit back to the police. The police were hitting with live ammunition. The students were hitting with the stones. And then Soweto was on fire. The bottle stores were looted. Schools were burned. Offices of the government were burned. Everything was closed in Soweto. No white person was allowed to drive through Soweto. That day is a day that I will never forget in my life. So it was really on fire. Everywhere was on fire.
And thank you for taking us back there. So then in the August, Winnie Mandela leads another march protesting against those who were arrested for their involvement in what happened earlier. I don't know if you were able to witness that. I think you were already then basically hiding from the apartheid police.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, you know, we were running amok everywhere where we can hear that the police are doing something, we're there. And Winnie led that march successfully. It was a sign that she's a very brave woman. She did not have any fear to march and tell the police that you get off from here, stop shooting the children. Indeed, she did a lot of work. She helped a lot. Children were stopped to be shot by the police because of Winnie Mandela.
Ms. Nzima, finally, how do you think we should remember Winnie Madikizela Mandela?
There are so many ways. Winnie Mandela should be named in every street, towns, and buildings. That should be Winnie Madikizela Mandela, because she's a lady who liberated us in this apartheid regime. She's a lady who showed us that you must be brave if you want something. You must fight for your rights. Indeed, South Africa must remember Winnie by respecting of naming some institution to show that we must not forget Winnie Mandela. She must not just die in vain.
Thank you very much, Sam Nzima, who took that iconic picture of Hector Peterson that went global and highlighted some of the brutal oppression of the apartheid police shooting at children.